Welcome back to the channel, Jacqueline. It's been a while since we've done a rant video. It's been years, actually. Comment down below if you want us to rant about a different topic in a new video and bring the series back. But I wanted to get in on the Nintendo game keycard situation because with all the controversy that it's been stirring, I wanted to get my hat into the ring, and I personally think it is one of the worst ideas that Nintendo has ever done. Now, I do understand the people who are asking what the fuss is about game keycards, people who like digital videos, people who like digital games, and they're like, oh, well, it's still a game, you could download it, and they see the pros of it. But in my opinion, the cons vastly outweigh the pros, especially as somebody who himself loves physical media to it. After all, my whole game collection is literally almost 200 Nintendo Switch physical video games. So even though with game keycards, the pros are basically that it's better than a code in a box. You have the card, you just download it from the internet, and then you could resell it. First of all, those downloads, it's basically just like the license thing all over again. And you also have to take into account that when you need the Wi-Fi to be able to do it, and you need servers, those servers are going to shut down one day. How much people remember that the Wii U and 3DS servers, the hullabaloo that took for people to be able to download that media before the servers officially shut down? And yes, we have hacking now. We could be able to use like the 8-shop on at least the 3DS. I don't know what they do for the Wii U. But when it comes to servers shutting down, that basically loses the game altogether. It stops resale value. And at the same time, it destroys game preservation. It makes it harder to basically preserve those games, unlike with physical media, where it's like, yeah, even though you may not have access to the patches eventually one day, and the DLC may not be available. Trust me, I work at GameStop now, and they tell us whenever we're selling used games that, make sure that you tell them, hey, the DLC is not going to be there. Even though that may be the case, at least we have the base game now, and there's some games that even go on to give the DLC in some packages. For instance, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet does it to where you could buy the game with the DLC included in it. And the whole thing with physical media is not only to preserve storage on your Switch 2, because you gotta remember, these are a ton of games, and especially with how micro SD Express cards, to get the 1 terabyte ones, they're extremely hard to get. And not only are they extremely hard, they're going to be more expensive. And you have to remember as well, it's not regular micro SDs. Like, you can't just pop in a 2 terabyte micro SD card. It has to be a special micro SD Express card. And speaking from experience, those cards were insanely hard to get because of the demand for them. And so now we're at a weird situation where companies are either taking the physical media, where it's Nintendo's one proprietary sized game card, or the majority of third parties. What they've been doing now is that they have been taking the game keycard route. And honestly, I just can't wrap my head around it, and hopefully they begin to see eventually that, we're not interested in these game keycards. And honestly, as somebody who bought both Hitman and the game keycard and Cyberpunk, I'm honestly hoping that Cyberpunk does way better. In fact, it is doing way better. And the biggest thing going for it might just very well be that, oh, it's not a game keycard. Honestly, we were so stoked when the games came out. We were like so excited for it. And also, I'm going to speak from experience real quick. When I did my transfer from the Switch to the Switch 2, the Switch 2 didn't have, even with 256 gigs, it didn't have enough space for me to be able to download my games fully without micro SD Express. Like, I couldn't download everything. I wanted to have all my games there all at one time. And then it got worse when I wanted to go and play Hitman. I had to go and pick and choose what games I wanted. It may sound like a minuscule thing, like, oh, just go and re-download the games. I just don't want to do that. And when it comes down to it, there's a lot of people who don't want to go through the hassle, not only of downloading them, but they want to be able to keep them, they want to be able to preserve them. When it comes to game preservation, we're in a really rocky time right now. And honestly, I've also been seeing the argument from the side that Xbox and PS4, PS5, it doesn't matter. They've been doing it first before Nintendo. Nintendo was just the first company to be open about it. And I understand the point that they are going with it, but it doesn't mean that we have to like it at the end of the day. Honestly, when it comes down to game keycards, it feels like as though we lose control of it, and we don't have access to those games forever. It sucks for what it is. It's just a really crappy situation all around. Hopefully, Nintendo is going to listen to the fan demand and see the mistake that they're making. And also, one other thing that I just realized, I just remembered this, and I read about it earlier. How did I forget about this? Anybody ever realize, are those savings really being passed down to us, the consumer? Are they? I'm just curious. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below. Feel free. I don't mind. But at the end of the day, game keycards, they're really not it. They're really not the way for gaming. And I understand that gaming's going in a digital direction. We have stuff like the ROG Ally, we have game streaming, we have just basically all digital consoles now. You know, like the Xbox Series S, the digital PS5s, stuff like that. A lot of us don't want just digital games. And now that Nintendo has put themselves into that situation, it becomes supporting them on a third-party level. And you also got to remember, after the Wii U fiasco, Nintendo just got back these third-party companies. But honestly, if we're voting with our wallets, who's to say that the companies won't go a different route after seeing our grievance and just decide not to support Nintendo? I know that some of these seem a bit unwarranted, but there's a lot of ways that game keycards can really go. And honestly, there's only one good way that it should go, and it's, well, two ways actually. But they're both the same thing. It's basically that, you know, the third parties go and put them on physical cartridges, and then we get them on physical. You know, but in order for that to happen, Nintendo would have to make like smaller or larger sizes. Watch, I don't care if the game is 10 gigabytes or what's a good size? 100 gigabytes? I don't care if that's it. Because I just prefer physical media. And honestly, so I've been doing a bit of reading, and I don't know if anybody else has said this, but I feel like as though there is a solution, or not a solution. What do you call a solution, honestly? There is a way to go about this. And I found it out, honestly, between a combination of Sonic X Shadow Generations and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I don't know how much other games are doing it. I think I read that Pac-Man World 2 Repack would also have this, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. But luckily, when Nintendo did the Switch to Switch 2 thing, it wasn't just the first-party games that they were upgrading, giving us Switch 2 updates for. You know, the Big 12 that we have, and then Legend of Zelda, the Legend of Zelda games, and all that with these DLC stuff, which, by the way, side note, yeah, Mario Party Jamboree, is that really it? Was that really the way to go to that game? I digress. Where was I? But the thing that I saw was that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I'm just gonna speak from experience real quick. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, from what I saw, the Switch 1 edition, I'm not sure if this is a free update to Switch 2. What it is doing, it's at least giving us an update for the Switch 2 consoles. Whether that's paid or whether that's free, I don't know. And this is just one game. I also think I saw it in Pac-Man will repack. Again, I will go and double check it. In fact, one thing I should probably do is have just a list of games that's doing that so far. And a lot of these are also going to be available for Switch 1. So for instance, well, I think I already said it. They're going to be available for Switch 1, basically. And if I would honestly bite the bullets on that one and just buy the Switch 1 game if it had an upgrade path into the Switch 2 version and avoid it. And I know I'm like probably shooting myself by saying it after just complaining about downloads and that, you know, the servers may go offline one day. But honestly, for the time that we have it, is it really that bad until companies come to their senses? Is it really that bad of a trade-off to be able to buy the Switch 1 game that's not a game keycard, that we have more control over, and then just go with the upgrade that they have? Is that really a bad thing? When I started recording this video, before I went to take some more time to do a little more reading on it, because I was so confident about it, I was like so prepared to be like, yes, there's a solution. And I mean, like, I guess there is. I mean, some games do have the free Nintendo Switch. Well, not, is it free? Some games will be offering either a free Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade or something similar, or it might be paid, or something of the sort. But it also seems like as though that's few and far between. Watch, it really sucks. And the only other thing I could think of as well is that we just buy the Switch 1 games if we want, wait for them to get discounted, and then buy them. It's funny because when I was talking about Sonic X Shadow Generations earlier, the points I was making, I went and watched a side-by-side comparison video on it. And I mean, feel free to use your discretion on that. But the thing that I had come to a consensus on, or the thing that I believed would have been good, would have been that we just, I don't know, continue buying the Switch 1 versions. And I mean, like, it also kind of makes sense in a way as well. Like, I don't know if you noticed about Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is another game. Well, the reports right now, I see them conflicting. Some of them say Switch keycard. Some of them say, you know, it's coming on a full physical release. But one thing that seems to be consistent is that, one, the game's not coming until next year for the Switch 2. And two, there is going to be an upgrade path for that. So at least if it's coming out on the Switch, it may be an option. But honestly, it sucks, especially for some games, that they're only going to get the Switch 2 treatment. It really does for us Switch gamers, because you got to think about this. Like, we still want that physical media. We want to not only have that physical media, but the ability to play it even when the servers shut down. Watch, I may be 25, but how long will the servers remain active for? Think about the amount of time when the Wii U and the 3DS came out, and those servers are dead. Those servers are dead. They were around for like a decade, and now they're gone. The Switch came out in 2018. Luckily, the Switch eShop still will work between them, so who knows? Maybe the Switch eShop will last longer. Maybe if they do a Switch 3, then we get the eShop even longer. Maybe that's Nintendo's plan. But it's so frustrating to know about the game keycard situation. And the best things that we could think of is pray to the Nintendo gods themselves and hope that they come to their senses and make more game keycard, make more game sizes, not game keycard. We don't want any more game keycards. The third parties get the idea that since their consumers don't want game keycards, that they pull something like, if they're going to put it on the Switch, give us an upgrade path for the Switch 2. Or in some cases, just suck it up. It's good that there's some games that are going to be on physical release. I'm looking forward to seeing, this sounds silly, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing Story of Season Grand Bazaar come out on physical. I was glad when Cyberpunk did. And thank God Nintendo is not doing game keycards on their first party stuff. That's good. But, man, I don't know. Nintendo really needs to wise up on this. They really need to figure out their stuff, because honestly, at this point, it does feel anti-consumer. It feels like as though that they're not showing care for it. We're hoping that, and we're left now with the hope that they see not only our dissatisfaction, but we make our voices heard, which is part of the reason why I decided, hey, I'll do another rant video on it. Continue to make your voices heard. Don't give in to it. I gave in to it once because I love the Hitman series. That was about it. That's it. And we hope that they decide, hey, maybe there is something. So what are the solutions? Again, the solutions are mostly from the third parties and then us cooperating with them, I guess. It's basically, one, we vote for our wallets, we make our voices heard. And on the third party side, the third parties use that trick that Bandai Namco is using with, and honestly, now that I think about it, if Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is doing it, why wouldn't Pac-Man World Repack do it? But use that trick where it's like, put it on, if you have a Switch 1 version of the game and you want to do it for Switch 2, give us an upgrade path for the Switch 2 version so we could still buy it physical. Or if they're not going to do it like what they did in Sonic X Shadow Generations, do our research, see if the upgrade specs really matter, and then make our decision based on that. But honestly, game keycards, it's not looking good right now. Nintendo, please, 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 please do something about it. I'm looking forward to your first party releases, but another side note real quick. We're not getting anything from them on that either, but that's a talk for another day. Honestly, I'm happy for Pokemon Legends ZA, but we haven't heard anything from Metroid Prime 4. We haven't heard anything from Hyrule Warriors. Even the partner showcase didn't show anything with that. Gosh, man. Honestly, I'm just going to end the video here for now. I think I've said a lot on the thing. I'm hoping that Nintendo... I'm just beating the dead horse at this point. Come on. Guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, I'm looking to bring the rant series back to the channel. So if y'all want, first of all, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and just comment below what y'all want me to rant about next. Comment below what opinions y'all think I have, because I do have some stuff to say on this stuff. Oh my gosh. And it's not just on Nintendo. One of my most popular videos was definitely Twitter agelock years ago, back in, I think, 2017. I would love to bring rants back. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Let's hope that everything turns out okay, and I will see you all in the next one.